Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Wyatt again, and I'm a general dentist. I've done nothing but orthodontics now for about 44 years, something like that, and I'm a member of the American Orthodontic Society. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about uprighting teeth. And this case here is one of the early cases that we started doing this back before we had proper bonding material, and we used powdered acrylic and a little brush and some liquid, and we would etch the tooth good, wash and dry, and get it etched good, and then put a little liquid on it, and then put a little powder and a little more liquid and build it up, and then we would embed our whatever we were trying to bond to a tooth in the acrylic, maybe put a little more on the top of it. But that's what we did on this particular case here. It's a neat young lady, and we had done orthodontics on her. This was back before we had any brackets even. That's back in the real early 70s when we started doing this. She's a real neat young lady, and we had straightened her teeth up real good, but she had a wisdom tooth coming in, and we had taken out her first bicuspids, and this is back before we had brackets. Now this is old bnded material, and you can see here that she had had all kind of jaw room back here at the back to put this wisdom tooth. So we wanted to come in and kind of set this wisdom tooth up, and I knew that it had to rotate somewhere down of the roots here, and so we had to make a device to upright this tooth. Now I could bond it down in this groove. That's what I did, and make a wire that came over here, and then we went down and made made a spring that would kick this tooth back. I'm going to show you that right now, just a second. Looking down on the tooth now, we had to be very careful not to bond or get the acrylic on both of these teeth. And we etched this part down in here, and we got the acrylic here and embedded that wire and put a little bit more acrylic on it. And I sent the wire off to get a picture. That's back when we had to send each picture off, There was a problem with my picture came back in two pieces, so I just kept it. Now we bent the wire and put the activation in it, but this wire would go out here and it would go down this direction. We pulled the wire up and tied it here so I could bond it, and then after I laid this wire into the brackets above, I cut this, and so the activation was pretty good. I didn't really understand about or have any double optical pliers in. So I take this wire and lay it up here. I just laid it in these brackets up above and tied it so it could slide backwards. Now this wire's going to slip backward as this tooth moves back. So we rigged this up, and it would do the same thing now as if today we would bond a tube on here and put a wire in there with a coil spring that we would activate, and it would do the same thing. Today it's much simpler with bonded material to do something like that. But this was in the early 70s. We didn't have any brackets. We didn't have any good bonding material. The only thing I had was that acrylic and liquid. And so we bonded it with what we had. Here's the little wire bonded in with this wire laying down in the brackets in here. And as this tooth backs out of here, this wire will slide backwards. So, and we were able to get some pictures of it, and there it is. And I didn't, very careful that I didn't bond the two teeth together, see. Made definitely sure I didn't do that. But now we haven't cut the wires here yet, but we'll cut that wire, and that'll kick this thing off. Okay, here is one a little later on. Now this was 10 of 74. We started in 73 with this, and 10 of 74 we had this tooth upright. I didn't get any pictures, I don't think, in between, but we'll show it from different angles. Now there's the wire in there, the bonded wire, and the activation. Then it slipped through these brackets. It came, come on, get that mess out of the way. It slid back through there as we set the tooth up. Here it was before we did it, and there it is after the activation. I don't have the dates in here, but we started the case, we banded it and did the orthodontics back in 73, and I think this took a few months to get the tooth up. I'm not sure. You can probably do that though in about 2 to 3 months anyway. Maybe even quicker, depending on a young person like this. And so we, here it shows the beginning of it, and here's where we ended up with it. And so we have followed that procedure of bonding on the side of the tooth for all these years, and that's been the most efficient way of uprighting nearly any tooth you can think about. And I think I could take a tooth that was laying flat down, or even take one that had the crown going down. If I could get something bonded on it, bring it up part of the way, and then put another one on it and bring it around. You can just roll them around in there, and it doesn't matter if they got a wisdom tooth or this tooth is going to run into the tooth above. They come up and they sit down, and the occlusion just chews in there. Now I got it back there, separated it. We didn't have any brackets at all, so we put a band on the tooth, and that's the way we finished the case. The young lady had all kind of jaw room at the back of her molar back there. Now there it is, another view. Here's the starting x-ray. See, before we did anything on this, we'd done a few. We started it earlier than this. This was 73, I believe. That's 73 right there. We were pretty well finished with the orthodontic, so we must have started the case somewhere back in late 72. But this is the one we wanted to bring in. This one over here, we didn't do it, but I had this tooth straightened up before I actually got this one straight. This right here took a little long. We just did it with regular braces and everything. This put the little deal on the side to straighten it up, and I got it straight. If I remember correctly, we got it straight. We were commenting on that. We got it straight before the other tooth. There they both are. And here it is later on. And there's a kind of a mirror shot. We're looking at these teeth, and I stuck a mirror in there, and then I took a picture of the mirror to show you how the teeth straightened up and everything. We'll take that band off, that 6-year molar. Yeah. And I think this is maybe the last picture we've got of it. Well, there's showing the start and the finish pictures. Shows where these teeth are. This tooth right here is this tooth. And that was done in the early 70s, before we had any kind of real good bonding material or no brackets or anything else. So I hope you take this, the principle is exactly the same, whether you bond a tube or you put a deal like that. But that's a sensible way to do it, and if you can just learn that, you can bring in most any tooth you want to, even without, when they're not in braces at all. Just bond your wire on 3 or 4 teeth and make one of these. You have to put a tube on it and stick that in there. So I hope we've helped people learn this thing. And that's the last picture of this video, so I appreciate you watching it, and I hope to goodness you will learn how to do this. It doesn't make a darn whether you're an orthodontist or a pedodontist or a periodontist or whatever the heck you are. If you're a dentist, you ought to know how to upright teeth, or you just won't be doing the best dentistry. You will let something else change your mind on what you should do, and you can save a lot of teeth. So I'll hush up here and we'll just finish this little video out for you.